We're back in the shop, and I'm feeling quite relaxed. Trying to prepare myself mentally and physically for the talk yesterday. You know, it was a little bit draining, but that's what it's all about. I took my time and thought of things that I was going to talk about, and went well. I'm very happy with it all. I had a great response from all the youth. I think, if nothing else, they sat and listened to me for an hour. If they got one word out of it, that'd be great. And I know one of the kids did because he told me. One of the kids learned what it felt like to gain respect. Yeah, it was a good day. And I'm happy that I did it, and I'm happy that it's over because it did really make me nervous. I'm happy again. Woke up this morning. Jolene has told me that our YouTube station has reached, we're in the top 100 for subscriber. What's that word called? Growth. Subscriber growth. That's hard for me. I can't get that out. Subscriber growth. And what I have to do is to thank all the people that are on YouTube, because that's who you are. You're the people that we're gaining confidence in. And thank you very much. I want to congratulate Jolene. She's doing a great job also. You have to remember, yesterday she filmed that so everybody could see what's going on or what we're doing, and I have to give her hands off for that because she did an awesome job. Thank you very much, Jolene. My partner in crime is Jolene. But anyways, today, what we're going to do, subscriber growth. That's what I'm looking for, subscriber growth. Thank you very much, everybody, because I know that I've asked the question a few times, and I know it's working because we're in the top 100. Great, eh? Awesome. So what I'm going to do today, this is what I'm going to do. Oh, before I even do that, come on over and take a look in the inside of this bad boy. What I have done. So, what I have done there, you were here when we did the two sides, we welded them in. I cut the piece of cardboard for the top, put the gas tank in. You can see where the spout's going to come out. That's going to be cut off a little bit more because the spout's going to come down through to meet it. We'll use the proper gas hose to join that together. I've made that mistake before, and Doug also reminded me at the supper table. Anyways, the seats are in. What I've done here is I put a piece of, I think it's a 1.5 inch, 1/8 plate on top, and just cut the bars off from the back side of the seat and put them on the top side, just to see what they're looking like. I cut a little bit more off them too and bring them down instead of leaning it back. The seats look good in there now. The dash is going good. Jolene got her gauges for the dash. This is what it's going to look like. I guess you're going to see the floor is going to be carpet up on the wheel wells. This is all going to be carpet up in here with a little latch on one either side, and then the carpet on the top. I was making the door out of some square tubing, and then I was going to case it in a piece of metal. And Jolene says, "Well, why are you making it out of that heavy stuff?" True. I'll probably end up just making it out of something fairly chintzy, somewhat, but still have structure. And we'll cover that with something lighter than square tubing and having a bank safe for that. There's no necessary need for that. She's thinking about weight, so why not? I like the way the seats fit in. They're pretty well back all the way. I'm happy with it. If you look up, I think it's Peter Mullen's Bugatti. Yes, baby?
You can open the laptop.
Okay, cool. Peter Mullen's. See, I know my woman so well, she went like this, and I said, what? She didn't say a word. But anyway, what do I do? Just get on there somehow? Is that what I do? Peter Mullen's car, she looked at the back of that, and she showed me what it was supposed to be, and there's the picture. Look at that, just like that. And that's sort of exactly the same thing that we have got going on in there. Yeah, so that's where we got that, or that's what she showed me, and that's what I'm doing in there. It's not exactly the same, not the exact same car. And I'm thinking they're all supposed to be different, are they not? We've actually used, Ralph Lauren's car was the car I built it off of, the look of it. Then I liked the headlights on the one that was done at the Guild, or we both did. It's obviously Jolene's car, she's picking and choosing. But we liked the headlights on the one off the Guild, and for some reason now we're going with the interior on the one of Peter Mullen. So it's got a little spice of everything. As you can tell, the fenders on this one are level with the grill. Also, as Jolene's running her down the front, she said, look at the grill, then look at the back of the seats. Look at that now, would you? Wasn't even thinking of that, but that's how customizing comes in, and that's how, you know, sometimes it happens that way, and it works out. But anyways, there they are. The seats are in, the console's in, the trunk part is made, the gas tank's sort of in. Everything is sort of got a place and a way to nail it down, so we're getting closer and closer. She asked me today, is the body coming off soon? Well, if I get the radiator in and got some brackets going and got the brackets welded on, I need one more body mount down in the middle. I think I'm going to put it. I couldn't tell where I was going to put it, but I'm going to nail a body mount right in the front middle of this car and nail it down. That's what I'm going to do. But right now, as we're looking at this, I'm going to do it's going to be some dirty work. I'm going to get underneath there and cut it off. This piece of angler I got going across there has got to come out. It's got to come out. As I made the last video, I was underneath trying to push the radiator up. And Jolene was trying to, you know, identify with the camera. You know, it didn't work so good. As I get up here, I can pull that radiator up here and got to see what it looks like. This piece of angle iron I got going across here was just to brace it and hold it and keep everything nailed down. I even got it welded to the chassis of the car because I did not want it to move. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut that out. And I'm going to try to put the radiator up again. And the reason being I'm cutting that out because I want it this way as far as I can. And the reason I want it this way as far as I can because the rack, the more I keep the, you know, I can put the radiator way out to here if I want to, you know, get it way out to the close to the radiator as possible. But what's that do to my rack situation? You know, trying to pushes my rack out a little further. I think it does because I am changing where the rack was, moving it back a little bit and putting the radiator in front. So that's what I'm thinking it has to go. So I'm going to cover the engine up with a blanket. Bear with me, and we're going to cut some stuff out and see if we can get that radiator up in place. And then we'll be one step closer to getting done what we need to get done, and that's get the body off. Lindsay was here this morning. I was in his place, and he dropped off. I don't know what you would call that. I'm going to make a tipping die out of it. I guess he would call it, he calls it a blank. We'll make a tipping die out of it. Maybe, I don't know, we'll see what Doug does. I know he has the lathe. So what we'll do is we'll make that right thin. And then I seen how Lindsay done. He had a wheel off of a skateboard and that bolts on there. And then that's the other piece for the tipping die. Perfect. And we will show you when it's done. So that's a blank, that's a skateboard wheel. So you can punch that out in the center, just knock the rest of that out. And then that'll bolt right on your bead roller, and that's your blank that you make the shape that you want. That's what's going to happen there. So I'm going to put this on. We're going to do a little digging. It's going, you know, this is the part that I'm not interested. I don't like a lot, but it has to be done. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to go for it, right in front of your very eyes, and. We try to leave it, we talked about it a little bit, we tried to leave it as real as possible, really kind of your very eyes. I just want to get it covered up in case of anything. I don't want to get the grinder caught up in the blanket, that's for sure. That's a no, we don't want to do that. No, we don't want to do that. The radiator's still underneath there, I'm going to move that out. I'm going to get on this little bad boy. I don't even really want that, to be honest with you, sometimes. Easier without it. I get dirty, but you know what? If you're not getting dirty, you must ask yourself, if you how do you build a car and not get dirty? How do you build a car and not get dirty? Cut this off with the grinder. The zip cut for now. See if I can get down here and cut that off. And I'm cutting that angle iron off for the very first time. And it was there for support. I welded it to the chassis on either side to make sure the front end stayed where it was. Now I'm going to cut it out, I guess. See what happens. I don't know which way I want to cut it off from. It's kind of not a great spot to cut, but That hurt. I know the princess could feel a pea, but I felt a nut. Oh. Yeah. All right, I'm gonna cut this one off. I know it looks kind of a. It's an awkward spot, really. Oh, not bad here, eh? Didn't it? Well, drop that off. And what has to happen is, once I get this cut off, once I get it cut off, then I'm going to pick the radiator up again, pull it up, and see how close I can get it to the cross member from the front end, and then we'll mark it. We'll mark it! Think of that. Now I'm going to stand the radiator back up and see where I can get it to lie in the front end of this car. It's hard to do with me and Rolene the other day, let's face it. Yeah, I didn't realize when I got there far enough to grab it. So what I'm going to do this very moment is just show you exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to come in here. A friend of mine designed these stools that I use. He claims they're safer, in which I agree with them. They are safer. They're angled out on the corners. His name's Fred Rogers. He makes these things. If you see one in your store, buy one. Support him. Just be safe. I don't know. Be safe. They work for me. I had them all over the shop. He's donated them here. And they work good. I use them all the time. So anyways, that looks a lot better just seeing the hole without that piece down in there. It makes things... I'm going to grab it by the cover. I'm going to pull this radiator up in here. And she's fitting up in there nicely. But you can see... If I bring her back here, see? You know? And we have to come up there a bit more. We're so close. I just don't... We're so close there. We're almost there. I don't know whether to put the radiator closer to where it was and try to put the rack back where it was, or put the radiator... I gotta let it down for a second. Just getting a little tough on my arm, that's all. So what I'm trying to do is, I'm trying to make up the decision. I'm going to try to make up the decision whether the radiator is to be up front as far as we can. If it is, well, I'll have to chew this part out. But I want to make sure that like where the metal comes here, it's welded to this square tubing, and it's inner construction of this side piece, that we know it's strong because I dropped an engine on it. But anyways, as I have it in there, I can cut some of it out to get the radiator up in. I do not want to shove the radiator back towards the engine because I need room for the rack. So I'm going to bring the radiator tight up this way as possible. I'm going to lift it up one more time, take a look at it, cut it. That's what I'm going to do. Don't know how I'm going to cut it yet, but I'm going to cut it. I can't see when I get both hands, you know what I'm saying? I can't see! You know what they say? Open your eyes. Open your eyes. I just don't know if that's going to give it to me, you know? measuring tape, you know, helps. I know. But it's a hard one. I'm gonna cut some out, and then we'll go from there. And I'm gonna start. I see it. I've marked it there before. We marked it when me and Jolene bring it up in there. We marked it. We're gonna cut that out. Now I'm gonna take and try to cut that out without affecting the outside, if I can. The underneath. I think I can get it with a grinder, the underneath. I think I can. And the top, I think I'll try with the plasma cutter. So now I'm going to go underneath there and try to take that off. There's a self-tapper there I'm going to take off. And I put the, where did I put the gun at with the self-tapper unit? Over here. So what I'm doing right now is just trying to make the radiator fit. And I'm doing whatever I have to do. Whatever has to be done is what I'll do to try to get that radiator fit. Right for right now, you know, let's get real. You know. If you do not have Glicos, like a lot of people use Glicos, have nothing against them, but the self-tapper that I like to use, they're great for hauling metal in and holding things together for you, you know. If you want something held for yourself, or pry tight, hold tight, like you put in a 4-pan or something, and it's a gap in it, throw a long self-tapper in or bring her right down, wald her up, and then pull the self-tapper out. What I'm liking to do, lately, is take the car, you know, if you're, let's face it, some things are quite expensive to do, is put a floor in a car, pull all the interior, put a whole new floor in it, patch it from the underneath, make a nice panel, patch it from the underneath, don't bother anything. I've done it a few times, and it's for the price of the job. That's what it's for. Anybody can respect that, can't they? Huh? You can respect that, can't you? If you only had $500 and it was going to cost you $4,000, you know, you can respect that decision, I would think. Somebody should be able to. And if you can't, well, you're not on the same playing field. All right, what I'm trying to do, I got square tubing running up there. I'm going to jam my face in here, and I'm going to cut the bottom of the square tubing off without affecting anything at the top. Got my fingers on it already. Look at that, baby. Scary stuff, eh? Mm. And like that winding back toward back. You know, what do? Gotta do it again, find the right way. It's going good there now, go the right way on it. That's what the issue is, you know, trying to cut that off without destroying anything or marking anything up. Sometimes a little harder than you think. Yeah. that the plasma cutter will do it. That where it comes in. Nice to have it, you know. If you didn't have it, I'd be in quite a spot there. I'd figure out a way how to do it, I guarantee you. Where I have this, I'm going to jump to it. You know it'll work. Doesn't look pretty yet. What I'm counting on, as I'm spraying that in there, there's no heat going. That's what I'm hoping. There's no heat going on that, because I'm cutting that off. The heat should be going inside the square tubing, I'm hoping. Now I'm going to go on the underneath and try to get a little bit that I didn't finish with the grinder. Don't want to affect the outside. Ah, got me. Shit. Yeah, I blew the fill off there. You can see that where I blistered it. Blistered this side. It's hot. Oh well. That's what happens. And what that did, you can see it knocked the outer shell off it. I'm not going to, you can see where it burnt it. I'm not feeling it. What it is someone has got burnt, their skin has lifted, and I am not picking at it right now because it's a sore spot. Right? That's what happened. I'm going to screwdriver get in there. And that's why we show you the stuff that we're doing. It has happened. That piece is pushed it off. I didn't want to get no heat there. Didn't cut it, just pushed it off from the heat. There we go. There we go. Knock that off with a pair of pliers. Shoot, that's not so bad there. That's not so bad. Knock a little fill off there, knock a little primer off it. Well, I realize there's no heat on that like that. Wow. Well, that's what happened. Here I thought that I would be okay, but when I cut it in this way, all that heat went on the side of that and heated that up and knocked that off. I should have aimed it down instead of that way. That's a shame. I did that. But that's not really nothing. It didn't cut anything, didn't hurt anything, because you look inside this piece here, it did not affect anything. It just knocked off my primer. Oh well. This is what's got to be done though to get that radiator up in there. And I'm gonna get it in there so then we can move forward. Just like in life, sometimes we go forward and sometimes we go backwards, right? It all depends on how fast we recoup and how fast we fix what we have done, or repair what has happened. I'm gonna go in here, put my glasses on, get the side cut off. Try to get out there as less heat as possible. Trying to do it too quickly there. That piece is falling off. Let's cut again. Come on, baby. Oh, it's not cut right there. Stop. Hit one there. What are you doing? You're so yucky, you're a roar. Yeah, it doesn't look like it's cut off there, does it? There we go. Yeah, what happened there is I have that's fine. It's not very hot. It's not very hot. Now I'm going to come up in there and clean that out with a grinder. I'm going to take and knock off some of the edge here. Good. Looks good. Awesome. Just knock off some sharp stuff and see what I got. I'm going to take and do the flapper wheel on that. Flapper wheel on that. We'll try to run this cord. Now, how I'm going to get at it, I'm just going to jam it in there and see what happens. Jam it in there and see what happens. I don't feel very good right there. Can't see diddly. I'm going to turn this off. I had a friend told me one time he was working on a truck. He was going underneath of it, and he got his back on top of that, it turned on, blew a hole in his back, eh? And every time he moved, it kept shooting him, it kept cutting him, right? And you gotta be careful sometimes. You just have to hit the button and it'll take off. Alright. Wow. I know one thing I don't like right now. You don't have to fix that. It's okay. That's okay. Exact same thing as a piece coming out of the fender skirt. Exact same thing. Just got to jump in and do a little repair on it. That's all. I'm going to try to get in here somehow. Now, to me, it looks like I can shave that pretty near flush, but I'd want to have the car off to do that. So I'm just going to keep flush, taking a little bit off, and then I'm going to try the radiator again. Just knocked it off. See if I come over the side, baby? Just knocked it off. I just let the water out of the blister, and it just knocked it off, knocked the filler off. And I'll just go back and clean it all off until I get it all feathered off until it's holding. I'll put a little bit more on. Don't want to do right this second. Shouldn't even done that, really, to be honest with you, but I wanted to take a look at it. All right, here it goes. All right. We still got to come up. Gotta let down for a second, let down. Well, I'm having a little bit of an issue getting that. And that radiator might have to go closest all the way back. Gives us more room. Gives us more room. All right, I'll try it one more time. The radiator. What? Yeah. Here we go again. I'm gonna have to jack it up in place. Here we go. We're up on there almost now. And then the rack could go. Ah, jeez. What's gonna happen now, baby? You said it. We're just gonna take it slow here. I'm gonna put it on the radiator. What I'll do, baby, I'll pick it up. You're just gonna run the radiator underneath, or run this underneath the radiator when I pick it up. Is that way possible?
Yep.
All right, here we go. We'll just go slow here. Take these glasses off. Alrighty. Good job. Good job, sweetheart. Now, somehow, some way, I'm trying to leave that there. I hope it don't fall. Alright. You want to jack it slow, sweetheart? Just a second, huh? Alright, go for it. Just a second. Go ahead. Second. You're, okay. Just go give her another little pump. Just a second. Okay. Go for it again. Go for it again. Second. Well, I know one thing for sure, that the radiator, let's put something else in it. We have to take more off, I see that. It's not on there, it seems to be one side more than the other. Boy, might not be on the move, okay. We're hard up against. No, we're fine there. This has to be scoped out some more. I think more knocked off the top. It has to be flushed right out on either side. And we do have it a little bit crooked because you can tell by the top it's not where it should be. We got a little crooked. Why? I don't know why it's not. Why I can't move it, but I'm jammed in here somehow. Yeah, so it's going to take me a little bit of time to keep cutting and trying to get that flushed out and get that piece of square tubing out of there so I can get that radiator up there. You can see how close we really are. Look, or what, we need a 1/2 inch because we need to we need to come above that fan if possible. Just come above that fan if possible. And I think I can get it if I just keep scoping it out. I wish that I could get it back this way a little further, but that would take a different radiator again, would it not? What I have to do is I have to knock that back flush on both sides, and then we'll go for, how long have we been?
Like 35.
Okay, do you know, if you want to come and hold the radiator, baby, we got a little time yet. See what we can do. You're gonna hold the radiator, I'm just gonna let it down a little bit. This is not like the engine. And I'm glad to let it down nice and slow here for a minute. You got a hold of her, no problem? Mm-hmm. Okay. We'll just lean it towards the car. I'm gonna get in there and you can just turn that off when it's time if you want. You can get back out of there. Can you get out of there?
Yeah.
Can you turn the jack off? Good girl. Excellent. So that needs to come off, just as simple as that. I should just let it down. I think we'll just let it down. We'll just let the jack down itself. Maybe we'll let it all the way down if you can turn it. Too strong for your own good? There you go, you got her. Oh, baby. Baby kicked my ass this morning in some ping pong, didn't you, baby? That's good. Kicked my ass in some ping pong this morning, she did. I love it when she kicks my ass. Jeez, I think I got a mark on my back from that nut. Hey? Anyways, we'll get this, try to get it flapped out and see best we can. Best we can. Just wondering if I put enough heat on that. Just feels a little bit there. Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Just overthinking it. Overthinking it. I'm good. All right, here we go. We're going to scope some more out. I wonder if I could get it. Damn it! Hard to do that. Power disc, I think is the one, the flapper wheel, you know, I can flapper wheel, on that long. Put a hard disc on, try it, see what happens. Want to reach my arm to the grill, but I can't. I cannot. And this grinder has quite a bit of grunt. This grinder. on either side. And get it! That's like playing that game. When you pull the, try to get the tweezing, you try to pull the bone, doctor's surgery, or that game was it? Every time you hit something, it would make a noise.
Yeah.
Operation.
Yeah.
That's what it was called. Operation. I'm going to say that's good for now. And I'm going to get Jolene to jack up the radiator for me. Take our time. And you can see what I'm doing in there is I'm trying to gnaw off that square tubing off the bottom so the radiator will come up in further. So what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to gnaw that off. It's welded on the top side and the bottom side of the square tubing. So what is actually happening here is I got it, this is 18 gauge, square tubing welded on the top, welded on this one, and the fender's welded on the square tubing here. So what I've got here now is I have a piece of 18 gauge and a flat piece of 1/8 plate now because I've just ground off the square tubing. So what I'm gonna do is Jolene to pump up the volume and jack her up and see what's going on. Beautiful. She's coming up. And what we're looking for, we're trying to do, we're trying to go and get the radiator to work. Just go slow, please, baby. Go ahead. All right, you're coming up through. Come on up through again. Just a minute now. Just slow up a bit. Can you clap a little bit? Just go slow. Okay, whoa. You know what I mean? See that? We're getting close, eh? So what has to happen is there's two, I have a mount on, if we can let that down, if you want to let it down there, sweetheart, we're far enough from the radiator, we're not, or for the fan, I'm sorry. Can you let that down just a little, just turn a little tiny bit and I'll tell you when to stop it. Yeah, keep going. Here we go, stop. Okay, what happens is, or what's happening, I don't know if you can see on the back side of the radiator. Can you see that little tiny mount there? There's a mount there on the back side of that radiator. Yep, a little mount. What happens is that's going up and hitting there right now, but I still have a 1/4 inch that I can grind off either side of that. What I feel like I'm going to have to do is get that flushed off. I'm going to have to take my time and get that square tubing flushed off. Just take my time, get it flushed off, and then see if I can get it up with the mounts on. And then when it happens that if it doesn't work, I will cut them mounts off and put them somewhere else. I probably should just cut them off now anyways and put them somewhere else because it really takes away stops us from putting it on there. And that mount does not have to be there. I can cut that off and weld it anywhere on the side of that radiator. They did. They have. I can probably, it's in there quite nicely now. I probably can take that radiator, cut the mounts off, and then try it up in there. What happens is, this is a 2-part series, and you're going to have to come back tomorrow and see what we've done with the radiator. That's what's going on. I'm going to leave it as it is and go from there. Did I get a mark on my back?
Right here.
No, up here.
I can't tell.
Good.
You're bruised though.
Huh?
You got a bruise.
Got a piece of rough on me. Anyways, I had a good day yesterday. Now that I'm have got it done, I'm very happy with it. I'm happy with Jolene making the top 100 of subscriber growth. We're doing a good job. And as you can tell, just like in life, we're working for it. Every day we're doing something, so we're working for it, but we also want to thank the people that enjoy it. Have a good one, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow.